watching me live, can you tell me if the camera is sideways? I'm just playing with my phone to try and adjust the right way to film here, and I'm wondering if I'm actually sideways. It says that I'm live. If you could let me know if I actually am live, that would be great. Otherwise, we can get started. Today I want to talk to you about inspiration. Okay, so when you're sitting down to make a card, hi Elena, can you tell me if I'm sideways? If I'm sideways, I don't want you to strain your neck watching me. I am? Okay. All right, I'm just gonna see if I can adjust this. Just bear with me. There. Is that better? Okay, thank you. Just trying to film landscape instead of portraits because it helps me when I edit my videos, but I'm not sure how to do that with Facebook Live, so I'll have to edit it afterwards. So thanks for joining me. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about inspiration. So when you sit down to make a card, what do? Do you pull out the catalog? A lot of times what I'll do, I'm just reaching for my catalog here, is I'll pull the catalog out and I'll start to look at cards in the catalog, and you know, I might not exactly copy a card, which is totally okay, by the way. Stampin' Up! Wants us to use their creative designs in the catalog and use that for inspiration, and it's totally okay to copy the cards that you see. But what I like to do, I do that. I look at the samples, but sometimes I look around my environment. You can find inspiration in nature, in fashion magazines. You can find nature at the mall, or I mean inspiration at the mall. You go into a clothing store, you can see the trends. You know, remember the pineapple phase? Everything was pineapples one time. Well, today I want to share with you what I've done. So this blouse that I'm wearing today, this is the inspiration for my card today, okay? So if you have little kids, a lot of the little kids' clothes out there right now, great, always great designs. You can look at kids' clothing and get inspiration on what colors to put together, what patterns go well together. So this blouse that I'm wearing today, if you can see it, it's white with a little bit of gray, and there's some butterflies. So this is my springboard today, okay? My own blouse. So I'm gonna flip the camera and get started and show you the card that I have to share with you today. All right, I think I'm set up here. Okay, so for my card, I wanted to start off with, remember I was telling you about my blouse. Okay, so there's navy, there's some gray in there, and there's some white. So we're gonna start off with a Night of Navy card base, and it measures 8.5 wide, scored at 4 1/4 and 5.5 in width. Okay, so that's my card base. Then what I'm going to do is I have a piece of smoky slate, just like the gray on my shirt. I'm going to attach that to the front. I've got some white and I've got some vellum because my blouse is a little bit sheer, so I thought we would play with some vellum today. So that was my first thought, to bring those products in. The stamp set that I've chosen to use is one of my favorites in the catalog. It's called Flourishing Phrases. And because this is a wood set, it actually comes in 2 sets. So all of these stamp sets, there's 18 stamps. There's 18 stamps in this set, and it's beautiful because you have this gorgeous flourish. You have a flower and a leaf, but the reason I love this stamp set and why I reach for it all the time is because it has just about everything. It has a thank you, just a note, a sympathy, congratulations, marriage, with sympathy, and then on the inside you could say comfort and healing to you. God wanted to brighten up the world. So it's a great set, lots of nice greetings. There's a little hello here too, if you just want to make a hello card. So I'm going to play with this one, I think, for my card today. Specifically, I'm going to play with this big flourish. I think that belongs on my card. So I'm going to pull in my smoky slate ink. This is smoky slate. And I've got my big flourish here. And I'm just going to ink that up. And I'm actually going to stamp right on the vellum. So we'll put a flourish down here in the corner. Ink it up again, and maybe we'll do another one like from this direction. And then one over here, just kind of covering up that background. Okay, So that's just on the vellum, just with regular smoky slate ink. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach all these layers together with some fast fuse. Now, the tricky part when working with vellum is you can see the adhesive through it. So you just kind of have to be strategic in what you're doing with it. So I'm going to flip it over, and I think, I'm going to put something at the top. So I'm going to use my fast fuse and put a strip of adhesive right at the top, because I know I'm going to cover that up. And then I have another piece of Whisper White, the exact same size. It's actually 5 inches by 3 3/4. Okay, so there's my vellum with the white in the background. And I'm going to go ahead, I'm just gonna put my smoky slate piece onto my Night of Navy card base, and that'll be done like that. And actually, I think because I'm working with navy, I have brought in this beautiful gingham ribbon. This is a new product from our annual catalog. It's in Night of Navy, and it's this gorgeous, gorgeous gingham. It's also sold in Smoky Slate, but I don't have that one yet. It's on its way. So we're going to use the Night of Navy. So what I'm going to do with that is, because I put that strip, I'm done with the gray, because I put that adhesive there, I want to cover that up so you don't see it. So I'm going to flip my cardstock over. Just going to put a little bit of adhesive here and here, and then take some of that ribbon and put it towards the top of my card. Just wrap it around, grab my scissors, and cut it off at the back, like that. And actually now I can go ahead and stick this down. And I'll just put some more adhesive on the back, and then layer that on there. There we go. So I've kept this loose and not stuck down at the front on purpose because I want to do a faux bow. So I'm going to cut myself another piece of ribbon, come underneath, and just tie a regular knot. It's called a faux bow, and I love this bow. I think this is my favorite because when you make it, you can actually slide it and move it. So you might think, oh, I want it here, but you can change your mind and you can slide it over if you want. See, you can slide it over there. So, and then when you're ready to commit to where you want it, you can just trim it off. So I think I'm going to put it up in this top right-hand corner, and I'll bring my scissors back in and trim that little bow. All right. That's the base of my card. I'll get rid of this ribbon. Now for my greeting and my other images for the front, I wanted to use, bring my Big Shot in and bring some dies, because as I was showing you in my shirt, I don't know if you can see it on my camera, there's some butterflies. Yeah, you can see it. There's some butterflies in my shirt. So I'm actually going to cut some butterflies. So I'll bring my Big Shot in, and I'm going to show you the Big Shot. But these are the platforms that come with it. So it's our main Big Shot platform. We're going to use, hi Angela. We're going to use the thin die adapter. And you always want to have a cutting plate on the bottom because you don't want to cut into your thin die adapter plates. Put that one there. And I'm gonna actually use these ones. These dies here are called the Move Me Thinlets. And this is what it looks like. So there's a hummingbird, there's some flowers, and then there's this cute little grid. So when you make this, I can show you this card another time, but you can actually make things flutter when you pull it through this grid. But we're just going to use the butterflies on my card today. I'm going to pull out these 2 butterflies and then a little tiny one. So I'll grab my Night of Navy cardstock, and this butterfly, so I want a small one. I also want a big one. So I have the outline, but I also have this detailed piece. So I'm going to use them together. Just bear with me while I get my pokey tool, because I got a little bit of cardstock. There we go. Get that unstuck. And okay, so I'll put the blade side down and then put these together, and that little guy's going to be right there. And I'm just going to run this through. Sorry, I forgot to tell you. I'm putting my cutting plate on top. So I have a cutting plate on the bottom and another one on top to make my sandwich. And I'm just going to roll this through. I usually do forward and back with my Big Shot just to make sure that everything gets cut. And then I can get rid of the Big Shot. That's all I'm going to be doing today with it. And I'm going to show you something. When you pull these dies off your Big Shot, you want to leave the steel on. And we sell, Stampin' Up! Sells this mat, this little foam mat, and my die cut brush. This is the bomb. I'm going to zoom in and show you what I'm doing. So if you have any of these intricate dies and you're like poking them with a little pokey tool, this is what's going to help you. So you just take the tool, and well, this one can come off, but you just keep the steel die there because that's actually your support for your die cut, okay? So you want to use the brush and see what happens. All the little pieces come out. And sometimes there's a couple, but not usually. It'll come out nice and clean like that. So that's the die cut brush, the fine die cut brush and the foam. And this little guy, I can just pop that out with my thumb. Okay, so I got a couple of butterflies for my card. And am I sideways? Fine time to ask now, we're almost done, right? But if I am sideways, I'll have to edit this. I apologize. I'll get this right eventually. Thanks for bearing with me. Okay, so now I'm ready to stick this onto my card. I'm gonna use some glue dots, I think. Did you hear that? That was my phone. Oh my goodness. Always on Facebook Live something happens. I'll call them back. Okay, so I'm just gonna put a couple of glue dots on the back of my butterfly. I'm gonna put this butterfly here in the middle, towards the top like that, and just fan the little wings. Now, get rid of my dies, and I'm going to finish off this card. So, remember how I said I love the flourishing phrases because of all of the different phrases? This one I think I'm going to make into a thank you card. Yeah, I'm going to use thank you so very much, this one here. So, I'm going to use my Night of Navy ink and my stamp and get some white scrap cardstock. And I still got my little butterfly. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with him in a second. So I'm just going to go tap, 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 stamp towards the bottom of my scrap piece of white. And this new punch in the catalog is called Pretty Label? I think it's called Pretty Label. I'll just find that for you. And it is my favorite punch. It is, you guys. You know why? Because everything seems to fit in it. Yes, it's called Pretty Label. It's right here. It's $23.50 and I use it a ton. So all of the greetings from the flourishing phrases fit inside this punch. So I'm just doing thank you so very much. Pop that out. And can't have naked white edges. Actually, in fact, I think I want to pull this flourish back into my greeting. So I'm going to bring back my smoky slate and my flourish. And I'm going to ink that up. I'm going to stamp it off a couple of times. And then I'm going to stamp right over my greeting. Like that. So that just gives me kind of a soft little design on the background of my greeting. And I'm going to dip my ink pad. Hey, Cheryl. Thank you. Just going to dip my little Stampin' Sponge into some Night of Navy ink. And I'm just scratching the edge. Can you hear that? Scratching the edge of my piece. And that just really, I think, makes it pop when you sponge the edges of your punched out pieces. And that's my greeting. But remember that other little butterfly? I think I'm going to stick him on here. Where's my glue dots? So grab a glue dot. And I'm going to put that right at the bottom of here like that. And I'm going to pop that up on a couple of dimensionals. And we are almost done. My friend Cheryl Fox is watching, and I cannot be done my card yet because you know what I need. I need bling, right, Cheryl? I'm sure she's laughing at me right now. So I have rhinestones right here. My friend Cheryl loves rhinestones. So I'm going to put some on my card. And I don't have my pokey tool. Let me see if I left it over here. Oh, yeah, I do. Okay, sorry about that. Pokey tool helps you get this. Oh, so right, yes. Pokey tool helps you get these rhinestones off without having them stuck all over your fingers. So I'm going to use my little tool here and pick up. There's, I think, three different sizes. So I'm going to put a big one, a medium one, and a small one. You see how I'm doing that? I'm just using the pokey tool to get underneath the rhinestone, and then I can use my finger to guide it right where I want it. And the mama butterfly has them, so does the baby. I'll just put, oops, that one went astray. I will put 2 on the little baby butterfly. And there we go. Now it's complete. So there's my card today. I'm just going to zoom back out and flip you around. There we go. So, what do you think? Does it look like my shirt? Do you think I got inspired by my shirt? I totally did. I was looking at this blouse and I'm like, I'm going to make something to match it. Anyway, I hope you liked my card today. And it is Friday, so I hope you're going to have a great weekend. It's kind of chilly here in Calgary, but that's okay. We can't complain. We had a gorgeous summer. So have a lovely weekend, and I will see you next week. Take care, ladies. Bye-bye.